Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last section we have designed this responsive header and this responsive sidebar, and in this section we are going to design the home screen. So basically this scrollable categories bar and then this video component, and then we are going to design the login screen. Okay, so let's start. So just go to categories bar. Okay, so inside this categories bar I will have an array of keywords, and then I will just map over this and render a span component for every keyword. So that's the idea. So let me just copy an array. Okay, so here it is. So an array of keywords like all React.js, AngularJS, all this like guitar, Bengali songs, coding, cricket and all. So in this categories bar I'll just map over this. So just remove the div, instead create a div with a class name categories bar. We are going to follow the BEM naming convention, and then just press tab, and then I'll put a curly brace as we are going to execute some JavaScript. The name of the array is keywords, so keywords, just map over this, and then inside the callback the first value is the value and the second value is the index, and then I can just map over this and just render a span component. So span, inside the span I'll give the value. That's it. And now when you render a list inside React will give you a warning if you don't use a key. So in this case I can just use the index as the key. Now here's a point, you should only use the index as the key if your list is not getting modified. In other words, if your list is a fixed list, in that case you should only use the index as the key, else you should go for some other unique values. And again I am not going deep into what is key, why you should use this, like that's the basic of React. Okay, so I have the categories bar which renders a bunch of span tag. Okay, now I need to keep track of the selected span, selected keyword, and I need to design this in a different way, right? So basically we are going to add class conditionally. So let me just create a state variable which will keep track of the active element. So const active element, and the setter function is set active element. The initial value, of course the all. So use state should be auto imported from React all, but auto import did not work. Nice. So control space, wow. So control space, this time it did work. And just let me double check this. Yeah. Okay, now I will change the selected element if I click on any of these span tags. So I will add an event listener. So on click I need to plug in my charger. First operation done. Now on click I will execute an arrow function which will change the active element. So set active element and just pass the value. That's it. And now it's better to create a separate handler function because I need to do much more than this. Like when we are going to use Redux, in that case I need to do some much more operation. So const handle click and get the value, and then inside this just change the element. So set active element, the value, this is the same function. So just pass this handle click, handle click, inside this on click. So set active element, replace this handle click. That's it. And now I need to show a different style for the active element. So I can check that inside this span. So class name, inside this class name I'll check if the active element is equal to value. So basically if this value is the active element, in that case I'll give it a class something like active, else just an empty string. That's it. So that's all for this categories bar. What's happened to this active? Oops, it's not active, it's active element. Okay, so just active element. Let me just make this side by side so that you can see the output. Okay, so here is my nice categories bar, and guys I have also used a border if you have noticed, because the border was only for the layout and I have designed the layout. Okay, so just remove the border. Okay, that is cool. And now let's go to categories bar.sass. Okay, so inside this categories bar, first of all import the base.sass file as we are going to use some variables, and then just select the categories bar class. So here just categories bar class. So copy this and here dot categories bar, and inside a brace let's add some basic CSS style. Okay, so just add a little bit padding. So 0.5 rem at top and bottom and 0 at left and right, and just decrease the font size to 0.8 rem, and then just use display flex to make this row by row, in other words horizontally, and just overflow X scroll so that I can get a scroll bar. That's some basic CSS. So save this. Look at this, we have something but we don't want this. Okay, so basically we need to modify the span. So let's target the span. Inside this categories bar I can target the span. So just span as this is an element. Okay, so inside this span, first of all add a margin right of 1 rem so that it gets a little bit gap, and then padding 0.5 rem at all side, and then just make this white space no wrap so that it does not break the line inside a span, and then border 1.5 pixel solid text color. This text color is coming from the base.sass file, and then border radius 999 pixels so that it gets the maximum rounded border possible. So let's save this and look at this. We have this nice span. Okay, now I need to hide this scroll bar. So inside this categories bar, you can hide this using WebKit. Okay, so on this categories bar, so ampersand and then double colon WebKit scroll bar, dash WebKit scroll bar. So WebKit scroll bar, under this just make this width with 0 pixel. Yeah, that's it. And I can still scroll right. Okay, and for the Firefox you can do something like scroll bar with none. Scroll bar with none. It should work in Firefox. Okay, now let's design this for the hover state. So inside this span, ampersand colon hover. If you have some confusion, you can just hover over this to see that if your Sass is right or not. So inside this, look at this. This is span hover. On hover state, I want to change the background color has 374A59. Save this. Okay, now I need to design this active class. I have added conditionally. So just copy this active class. If the span element has the active class, so just hover over this to check this. Look at this, the span class active. So first of all, I'll make the color pure white, Real Madrid, Hala Madrid, and then I'll change the background color to has 606060, and just change the border color to border color. Save this. Just hover over this and just click on an element like React Native. Yeah, yes, the active class is attached. Okay, so I'm done with this categories bar, and let's design the video component. So just close this categories bar.sass and categories bar.js. Just go to video, control click. Okay, so first of all I need to put some dummy content on this video. Okay, so first of all I'll have a div with a class name video. Inside this div I'll have another div which will contain our thumbnail and the duration. So let's name this video top, video underscore top, and I'm using emmet, by the way, emmet syntax. And then I'll have the video title, so div video underscore title, and then I'll have the video details or something like that. So video details, div.video details. And in emmet, if this is div, you don't need to mention div, by the way, you can just use dot. And the last thing I want is the video channel. So just let me explain this. Okay, so video channel, so dot video channel tab, here it is. Okay, so inside this video top I'll have an image. Okay, I'll put the image later, and then I'll have a span for the duration. Let's say 5 minutes 43 seconds. And then inside this video title, let's give it a title like what? Create app in 5 minutes. Hashtag made by Chintu. And if you don't know Chintu is a popular programmer of whatever. And then inside the video details, I'll have the number of views and when the video was released. So inside the span, I need to import an icon. So just go to a top and import an icon from, I don't know, React icons. Import from React icons. My IntelliSense is not working. React icon /AI, and just import AI fill eye icon. Yes, and here inside this span, just render the icon as the component. Okay, cool. And then the number of views, so 5 million views. And then after this span, I'll have another span which will say something like 5 days ago. And then inside the video channel, I'll have the channel icon and the channel name. So again an image, I'll put the image later. And then for the title, just use a P. The title of the channel is Rainbow Hat Junior. Okay, so just save this. Okay, and now I need to put a dot here after this 5 million views, and that dot I can get from original YouTube. So just get something from original YouTube to not YouTube. So just let me log into YouTube. Hey, look at this, my last video got 33 views. it's worth celebrating. Okay, so just go to elements and then just using the selector, just select this dot after this 33 million views, and then from this content just copy this dot. Okay, cool, and just go to the code and paste this. That's it. Save this and let's put some images. So let me just copy the thumbnail. So here is my source image, so just copy that. You can just put any image. So save this, and for the channel icon also copy the channel icon. So from this backbench coder just get the image source, copy this, and if you are not sure what I am doing, I'm just copying this image source, and here at the image source just paste this. It should work. Okay, so here is my videos, and now let's design this. So just go to video.sass. First of all import the base.sass file and then target the video class, so .video. Inside this just use some margin bottom of 1 rem and padding at all sides 0.7 rem, and then just give it a font weight of 500 and just decrease the font size to 0.9 rem, and then cursor pointer to indicate that the user can click a video. I mean, that's the whole point of this app. So just save this. Okay, then target the top section, so __ top, this is video __ top, and here just give it a margin bottom, so margin bottom of 0.5 rem, and that's it. And then target the image, so just make this width 100%. Save this. Yes, we have a better looking UI. And now let's target this duration. Now you can see this better. Okay, cool. And now let's design this duration, so it has to be at the top of this thumbnail. For that the position should be absolute, so just target the span, which is the duration. So inside this top span just make this position absolute. The position of the parent component has to be relative. Save this. Okay, so the placement of the item is from bottom 0.3 rem and from right 0.3 rem, and then just use a padding of 0.2 rem and just make this a transparent background, and just use border radius 3 pixel to give this a rounded look. Save this. Look at this, my duration is at the right place. And now let's design the video title. So this is a div, and just close the top. Inside this I have this class which is title, so video title __ title. So just give it a margin bottom of 0.1 rem and the color is pure white, again Hala Madrid. Some basic CSS. Save this and then design the video details. So __ details. Here we have 2 span tags, so just use display flex and align item center, just some basic CSS, and then design the channel, so __ channel, and again I will make this display flex, align item center and margin 0.5 rem at top and bottom and 0 at left and right, and then just target the image which is the channel icon and just set a width of 36 pixel and height of 36 pixel. Give it a rounded border, so border radius 50%, just some basic CSS. Save this. Nice. Just give it a margin right of 0.5 rem and then cursor pointer, so if you click on this icon it will redirect you to the channel page. Okay, and then for this Rainbow Hat Junior, this is a P tag, so it comes with a default margin bottom, so just remove the margin bottom 0. Save this. Yeah, that is cool. Okay, so almost done for this video component, and let's just resize this. And here is the problem, which is I want this title to take only 1 line. Okay, so this create app in 5 minutes made by Chintu, it has to take only 1 line. So I need to add some style. So just go to the code and add this title. Here. First of all, I'll make this overflow hidden, and then just use display WebKit box. And using WebKit I can implement this. So WebKit basically line clamp to 1, and one another property which is WebKit box orient. So WebKit box orient is vertical. So save this. Look at this, it got only 1 line and then these 3 dots. Now here's a point, I'll be using this line clamping feature for some other elements. So I need to write these 4 lines of code every time I clamp an element. And there's a better way, which is, as we are using Sass, we can use Sass mixin. So let me show you. So just cut these 4 lines of code and go to base.sass file. So you can define a mixin using @mixin, and then the name of the mixin is line clamp. Just give this a relevant name, and inside this line clamp just put these 4 lines of code. And you can also use a variable, so sometimes you may want to clamp the line for 2 lines, so in that case you need to use a variable. So after this line clamp just use dollar to indicate this it is a variable, and just name of the variable is number, and then just put this variable at this line clamp, so dollar number. Save this, and now use this line clamp in my video.sass file. So just go to video.sass here at this title, and now you can use the mixin using at, then include, and then the name of the mixin is what, line clamp, and then pass the parameter which is 1 in this case. Save this. Look at this, it's working fine. Okay, so that's my home screen is complete, and you can also hide this scroll bar using the WebKit technique. So just go to categories bar.sass, just copy the WebKit code. Yes, don't copy the ampersand portion, just copy the WebKit scroll bar and just go to base.sass file. Inside this base.sass file just paste this, save this. Look at this, I can still scroll. Yep. Okay, so now let's design the login screen. So again, inside the screens folder, let's create another screen which is login screen. Inside this login screen just create the login screen.js, also a login screen.sass. So login.sass. Okay, and guys, you will find the source code for every section, so if anything goes wrong in your code you can just put a comment or check out the description box to get the source code. Okay, inside this login screen.js create the boilerplate RAFC. Okay, inside this login screen, first of all remove this div, and then again create a div with a class name what, login, and then inside this div I'll have another div which will have a class name what, login container, and then inside this container I'll have an image, I'll have a button, and then I'll have a p tag, I mean paragraph, and then tab. Here it is. Save this. Cool. Okay, so inside this image source I need to put a YouTube logo. So just copy the YouTube logo from the header.js, copy the source. Inside this login screen put the source. Nice. Inside this button what, login with Google, and for the P some details about the project. So this project is made using YouTube data API. Okay, save this. Also, that's all for the login screen. So just import the login screen.sass, import ./login screen.sass, save this, and let's render this login screen. So just go to app.js. Okay, so currently I am rendering this home screen inside this layout. So it has a header, it has a sidebar, but this login screen does not contain this header or sidebar. So just comment this out, and then just import the login screen. Auto import did not work this time. Yeah, login screen, import this. Auto import did my job. Login screen, that's it. Just go to login screen.sass and let's check out my app. Refresh this. Here is my giant login screen. So let's design this. So inside this login screen, first of all target the login. Okay, so inside this login screen, first of all target the login class. Just make this side by side. You know what, first of all just resize the image. It is giant image. So the image width is something like 130 pixel. The height is 130 pixel again. Save this. Yeah, and just use object fit content to maintain the aspect ratio. Save this. Yeah, look at this. And now inside this login, just use height 100 viewport height. So display grid, and then place item center. So place items center. This is an one-line CSS. I got this from official Google YouTube channel. Look at this. And now let's target the login container. So __ container, and just use a background color what, like black secondary. It will throw me an error, and just import the base.sass file. @import // base.sass file, again _ base.sass file. Save this. Okay, just use a padding of 2 rem at all side. margin at top and bottom 0 and 1 rem at left and right. Just give it a rounded border, so border radius 10 pixel, save, and then just use display flex direction column, flex direction column, save this, make this horizontally center, so align item center, nice. And now let's target the button. So inside this container I have this button, just use padding 0.5 rem at all side, remove the border, so border none, just use a border radius of 5 pixel, save this. Yes, a better button, just use a margin bottom of 1 rem, save this, better. And on focus, so ampersand on focus state, just remove the outline, so outline none. Okay, so that's it, that's my login screen and the home screen is ready. And in the next section we are going to set up the routing of our app, and then we will set up the Firebase for this project. So see you in the next section, bye.